Hi, my name is Tina Chang, and I'm introducing a poem I wrote called Fury. I wrote Fury after the Eric Garner and Michael Brown verdicts. Eric Garner died in 2014 after being placed in a chokehold by police officers over accusations of Garner selling loose cigarettes. The footage of this event was shared over 7 million times when it was first released. This generated widespread attention about law enforcement in relationship to the Black community. In a grand jury deliberation of the police officer who killed Eric Garner, the officer was not indicted. This case and the verdict for Michael Brown's case was strikingly similar. The court decisions set off many protests around the country. These situations feel almost identical to that of George Floyd, whose violent death has garnered international attention, inspiring not only protests, but the demand for reconsideration for the way Black lives are treated, not only in the United States, but worldwide. I hope in the days and years ahead, we may all consider the inward and outward work that needs to be done to create a world where everyone is truly deemed to be equal. I have a son who is Black. When I thought of the lives of Eric Garner, Michael Brown, and many Black men who have died unarmed, I looked at my son and I wondered how he would face the challenges ahead of him. Like any mother or parent, I wish to love and protect my son, though there are forces out there that may or may not honor such gestures of protection. I wrote Fury for my son, and for the young Black boys worldwide who struggle to be visible, accepted, and free. I invite you to share in my poem, Fury.
My son rubs his skin and names it brown, his expression gleeful as I wipe a damp cloth over his face this morning. Last night, there were reports that panthers were charging through the streets. I watched from my seat in front of the television, a safe vista. I see the savannah. Sometimes, though, my son wakes to a kind of nightmare. He envisions words on the wall and cannot shake them. He tries to scratch them away, and runs out of the room, but the words follow him. None of it makes any sense, but it's the ghost of his fear that I fear. What is a safe distance from the thoughts that pursue us? And what if the threat persists despite our howling? Buildings collapse. A woman falls down the stairs and lands on her back with only one eye open, half awake to her living damage. I think my son senses what's happening on the street, his heart fiercely tethered to mine. I know the world will find him and tell him the history of his skin. Harm will come searching for him and pour into him its scorching mercury, its nails, its bitter breath still against his boyhood skin, smelling of milk and wonder. Somewhere, the panthers are running, starting fires fueled by a distinct hunger. Somewhere, there is a larger fire, a pyre stoked by the fury of all that we have come to understand, all that we could have done but did not. Its flames lick the underside of the earth. It propagates only a frenzy of air to fan it to inferno. I'll call that the forest. The deep woods are ahead, and if the panthers could just reach it. If I told you that all of this happens at night, you wouldn't believe me. If I told you that all of this happens in the future, always the future, you would continue following the scent you could only describe as smoke. I'll call that justice. But aren't we talking about mercy and its dark twin? Isn't that what's pummeling history on the side as I write this? Isn't it the thorn and the taser? Isn't it the chokehold and the gold arm of vengeance? I say it from my mouth, and when it spills forth, it lands on the ground in a pool of light, reflecting back at me the one true blasphemy: love and love and love and love and love and love and love. And love is crowding the street and needs only air, and it lives over there in the distance, burning.